Hello everybody, happy History Hump Day. How are you today? Are you good? Are you terrible? Hey, say the truth. This is a safe space. I'm doing terrible. Just kidding. It was a hot day and I had no AC in my car, so feel bad for me. It was like 80 degrees. Boo! That's too hot. I should be grateful for the sunshine, but no. Bring back 40 below, bring back windstorms, bring back my face falling off from the cold. I miss it. I miss that. Once you think, oh, I want the sunshine, and then it comes and it blares in your face, and you say, never mind. Take me back. Take me back to the cold. Okay, so, happy History Hump Day. It's history. We are reading The Dawn of Everything by David Graeber and David Wengrow. The Davids. And hey, you know what's interesting? We're still trying to figure out how it all began, where the humans began, what humans were like back in the day, when were they cavemen or were they Adam and Eve? Hey, there's disagreement. Hey, we love people who disagree with us, but you're wrong. Only the Bible's true. Well, look, it turns out you can learn things from people you disagree with. I don't know if these guys are Christians who wrote this book, but it's very interesting, I gotta admit. I don't agree with the cavemen. I don't think that cavemen existed, but I do think that there's a lot of insight in, even if it was after Adam and Eve, there were still hunter-gatherer people, type of tribes and stuff that existed. And we want to know, was that good? Do we want to live in that time? I felt like, oh, there's a bug. Oh, gross. Ugh. Ew, it's so big. Okay, it's dead. Good. Okay, there we go. Okay. Anyway. Hopefully you can still hear it. I feel like people don't want to live in the mud house days, in the hunter-gatherer era. I feel like we all like our air conditioning and our diseaseless, no diseases, no leprosy, polio, whatever. We don't have to deal with that, but at what cost? So, okay, so we got Rousseau versus Hobbes. Hobbes says we're all evil, humans are evil, we're all always power hungry, and it's the police, civilizations, governments, cities that prevent people from taking too much tyranny, although they can also use the police. I don't know if was that before Hitler? They can also use the government to be power hungry and kill people. Fair. Rousseau, apparently he didn't actually believe what he said. He was just using it as a thought experiment. This is what they're saying. Rousseau was just like, people were innocent back in the day. They all believed in everybody's kumbaya and the same. And then the civilizations came, and that's when the power-hungry people came. But I don't think he actually believed that. He was just saying it as a thought experiment. But good for him. You know what? Good for him. People need to be a little bit more confident in things, even if they don't believe it. Be more fake. Stop being so real. Does anyone really know what they believe? Let's just pretend. Just be confident, even if you're not even sure. Okay. So, we got Rousseau versus Hobbes. A guy named Pinker, that was his last, Steven Pinker. He's like quoting Hobbes. He agrees with Hobbes. Civilization is good for people. Hey, that's what I think last week I was saying that billionaires are good for society. I don't know. Was I wrong? I can't flip-flop that fast. That's kind of cheesy. But you know what's really crazy? So Pinker looks back at all these people, all the fossils that we have, where they got arrows in their necks and they died from this. Nobody cared. Everybody was brutal. But they said, okay, in this book, they're like, okay, I think this book is maybe a middle of the road. I don't know. Hey, Christianity is a middle of the road. We say everybody's evil and power hungry, but Jesus died for our sins. So maybe that's kind of what Hobbes believes, but also I don't feel like getting the government is what fixes it. It's Jesus that fixes it. There you go. Problem solved. But not everyone believes that. These people are saying, okay, if we're going to say that people back in the day were really violent and brutal, we also have to look at this example. This is a sweet story, I gotta admit. Ramito 2 is a case of they say 10,000-year-old, probably like 6,000-year-old, but it's a burial of a male with a rare genetic disorder, acromegaly dysplasia, a severe type of dwarfism which in life would have rendered him both anomalous, whatever that means, in his community and unable to participate in the kind of high altitude hunting. Okay, so basically, they're being nice, but they're basically saying he's worthless. He can't help with the hunting and stuff. So he's just a burden, according to what you would see based off of the fossils. How would you even be able to tell based off of the fossils? But they're also able to tell from archaeology that the hunter-gatherers did not leave him behind. They did not give him less food. They gave him the same portions as everybody, and they carried him along. It says that despite generally poor levels of health and nutrition, the same community of hunter-gatherers still took pains to support this individual through infancy and into early adulthood, granting him the same share of meat as everyone else, and ultimately according him a careful, sheltered barrier. So they didn't just leave him behind. Isn't that sweet? That I was like, that's really sweet. Even people back in the day had hearts and they were nice. Isn't that crazy? So that's proof that not everybody was evil, violent, brutal, or maybe they were, but it's because they loved their families and they were loyal to their tribe back in the day. They were so loyal, you felt like you belonged when you were in a tribe. But if anyone crosses you, the whole tribe that crossed you, even if it was just one person, the whole tribe is going down brutally. But it's a sign that they care. So I don't know. What do we go with? So what would you rather live in? Would you rather live in a hunter-gatherer, or would you rather live as a person in an air-conditioned house? And you know what's crazy? And they said there were lots of cases of this where people were carrying, there's lots of cases of brutality and there's lots of cases of people who cared about one another. Imagine that. It's both. It's just a boring middle-of-the-road viewpoint. Come on. We need more extreme viewpoints. But how would you ever know which one's better? I feel like being in a civilization would be better, right? That's what I thought last week. I can't change my mind that soon, so I still have to stand firm in that. But this was pretty eye-opening. They said, statistically, somehow they were able to, I don't know how you figure this out, but of the people who who were abducted from the Western civilization into the hunter-gatherer communities, or vice versa. They looked at all those cases, and of those people who had the choice. So this is how you figure out which one's better. The people, like they said, who have lived in both and have the choice to choose one or the other. So these are people who were abducted or not abducted. Somehow they got adopted or something from one to the other. So they lived some of their childhood in one and lived some of their childhood in the other. And then they were given the choice which one they want to go back to or stay in. And statistically, the majority of them wanted to stay with the hunter-gatherers. They wanted to stay in the mud houses. They wanted to stay in the less technology place. They didn't want to go back to the civilization. If they were abducted from the civilization or if they had grown up in the hunter-gatherers, all of them wanted to either stay with the hunter-gatherers or go back to the hunter. Isn't that crazy? That makes me think, I feel like I wouldn't want to do that, but maybe I don't know what I'm missing. You don't know what you're missing till you're missing the technology that forces you to, and you could say, well, just give up your phone. I would rather just be on my phone for 400 hours a day than have a mud house and all that. And you could say, well, just stop being on your phone. You can go and live like them. But I can't, because that takes willpower and that's too hard. So I need it to just be taken away from me so I actually forced to experience it. And then I can see which one, maybe I would like it. Maybe I would be like, yeah, oh, I just love the sun. I just love all these people who are maybe we don't realize, we think we have human connection. And maybe we don't. Maybe we don't realize what we're missing, what we could have if all the technology was. But no, don't take away my technology, please. I'm too addicted. I'm too soft. I would never survive. But that's the other thing. You might die by the time you're 25, but your life was so much more fulfilled than living to 90 on, I don't know, on your phone. I don't know, but I do like my phone. I do like social media, so I don't know if I can give that up. But that was really interesting, the way they compared those. Should I change my mind? I can't change my mind. No, I have to stay firm. Billionaires are still good. We still want to advance society. We still want technology that makes us weak. I'd rather be weak and ultra-processed foods than extreme hunger and eating dirt and mud and getting the Black Plague. I don't know. I'd rather my kids not all die from starvation, please. I don't know, but maybe my life, maybe they had a short life, but it was more fulfilling. I don't know. But this was a good end quote. This is a really good end quote that I ended on. They said, love and above all happiness, which they found impossible to replicate once back in European settings. Security takes many forms. There is the security of knowing that one has a statistically smaller chance of getting shot with an arrow. And then there's the security of knowing that there are people in the world who will care deeply if one is. Whoa. Whoa. Like, I'm so secure that the police officers are going to prevent me from getting shot in the face, and so I can live to be 195. Or would you rather live in that, but nobody cares about you? Or would you rather live in a world where bullets are flying, arrows are flying, and one gets you and you die? But everyone's sad. Everyone misses you. I'll take the first one, please. I don't need people to care about me. I just need my air conditioning because it was really hot today. Anyway. No, but it was very eye-opening. It made me wonder. It made me think. It made me see a different perspective, which I don't like to do. No, I'm not going to be a flip-flopper. Billionaires are still good. But sometimes I wonder, what if we didn't have any of this? What if we were just walking around with our little torches and that was our only light? Would we be happier? Maybe.